Hello folks, it's Ranger Billy, and I'm here at Anastasia State Park, here down at the old Spanish Quarry. Folks, I want to take a moment and I want to thank you on behalf of the staff and the rangers here at Anastasia State Park for your understanding and your patience during this time that we're closed. I know it's going to be difficult, but we're going to get through this all together. So during this time, we're going to virtually come into your living rooms and we're going to give you some programming about the park. This 3-part series right now, over the next 3 weeks, is going to be a historical look at the old Spanish Quarry with your favorite ranger, Ranger Billy. So anyway, let's get started. So today we're going to talk about coquina. Then next week we're going to talk about how they took the coquina out of the ground and they got it over to the Castillo de San Marcos site. And then the third week we're going to talk a little bit about the history timeline and the human impact and just exactly what that meant for St. Augustine and for Florida and virtually America. So let's get back there. We're going to talk about geology. We're going to talk about chemistry, a little bit about history, and then the human impact. And I want you guys to join me, and we're going to have a lot of fun, and we'll see you inside the quarry. Hello, folks. It's Ranger Billy again, and we're inside the pathway to the old Spanish Quarry. So today we're going to talk about coquina. And the star of our show, everybody, come on, everybody give a big hand to coquina. Da-dun-da-da-da-dun-dun-dun. Da-dun-da-da-da-dun-dun. Coquina. You like that song, huh? It's a great song. So, how was coquina formed? Boom. Like that? So anyway, we're going to talk about how coquina was formed today. And it was an amazing process. So, it happened when I was a little kid, about 1.8 million years ago, and I was running around the planet just like Ranger Billy does here at the park. Basically what happened was between this period of 11,000 years ago to 1.8 million years ago, that was called the Pleistocene period. Okay, and during that period, a whole bunch of things happened with the Earth. Okay, we had a real big cool down. In fact, 125,000 years ago was during our glacier, the Ice Age. When we had big glaciers that moved in. But during that period too, it was a big changes for Florida. We had a lot of tidal changes. So, like at different points of this period. Florida would be at least 400 feet above sea level. You could go down and say, hey, clams, how are you down there? Or, different parts, sometimes, Florida would be 100 feet below sea level, and we'd be swimming around. Just like that, yes. I know, that only look good as a fish. Anyway, so during these different periods, as you guys all know, when you're walking down a Florida beach, you are going to definitely encounter little tiny shells. They're everywhere, right? Well, those are called, and this is where I look smart, Donax variabilis. And Donax variabilis means tiny shells in Latin. Also means coquina, and coquina means tiny shell in Spanish. So on these tiny little shells, there's this chemical, okay? And it's called calcium carbonate. So basically what happens is calcium carbonate, here we go with the chemistry, is CaCO3. So that's calcium, and then you have 1 carbon, and then you have 3 parts oxygen. So that is all on top of every shell that's all over these, all over the sand in Florida. Well, this has been here since 1.8 million years ago, even longer than that. So now you have the tidal comes down, and you have all these shells that are being exposed, and it starts raining. So what happens is in all the rain, there's a certain amount of acidity. So it's hitting on these shells, and it's eroding the calcium carbonate off the shells. Okay, so now what happens next is then you have the tide that comes back up. All right, then all the calcium carbonate gets mixed around in the water. So I am going to have a special guest come out and give me a hand. And she is very new to our park, and we are so thankful to have her here. She is our new park service specialist, Mary Mazik. And it took me all night last night to get her name right, and I did it. So Mary, come on out. Everybody give a big hand for Mary. Woo! Wave, Mary. Say hello to everybody. So Mary, are you a cup full or a cup empty type of person?
Cup full.
Cup full. We like that. So Mary, if you would, please go ahead and fill that glass half full, since you are a half full type of person. Man, she's doing a great job. That's excellent. Thank you. Okay, now the next thing I want you to do is go ahead and hold that spoon. And what we're going to do here next is this sugar right here. This is sugar, okay? And this is going to represent that calcium carbonate. Okay, so we're going to put it on that spoon there. And then Mary's going to dump it into the water and then stir it around, because we know that tide isn't stagnant, right? So she's stirring it around. Excellent job, Mary. Thank you. You're amazing. So now, this is kind of how calcium carbonate works. Now you see this, you can basically hardly see it. There's just a little bit there. But I bet you if I drank this, I'd have a diabetic fit right now. But anyway, so that's how calcium carbonate is. So it's all in the water right now. So now basically what happens is, then all of a sudden, the tide goes down. And this gets mixed in with the sand and the shells. And that creates a rock. It creates what we call a strata. And that strata is called a layer, okay? So now what happens is, it's kind of like this granola bar that I have here. So the first time I actually did this program, I put the granola bar out. I'm coming up with a group of people, and there's a squirrel running away with my granola bar. So that's why I keep them in the package now. All right, so it's kind of like this granola bar. So if I open up this granola bar, you will see there's little strings and stuff in there, right? Well, what do you think holds this granola bar together? Butter, sugar. Those are all great answers. Thank you, guys. You are amazing. You're on point today. So anyway, that's kind of how calcium carbonate is. All right, calcium carbonate holds together the sand and the shells, and it creates this layer of rock. Isn't that cool? So that's how we get coquina rock. And I got a picture. Look at this. Coquina rock. Woo! Isn't that awesome? So my friends, and it was because of this rock that St. Augustine is what it is today. And it's what Florida is what it is today. It's because this material, this really cool material, is what kept us safe and kept us being able to be the oldest, longest running city. So I just want to do one more thing. One other problem that we do deal with coquina. Now, coquina in its natural form is tan. It's very tan and it's very smooth. Mary, if you would, is this coquina rock? Feel that? Is that smooth?
Nope, it's hard.
It's hard.
Yep.
Well, that's because it kind of has erosion, okay? And you know, when you go into the city, you're going to get a little bit more because you get kind of some pollution and stuff. So we're dealing with that kind of erosion. But I want to kind of give you an idea of what that looks like. So Mary, if you would, come on over here. And this is the fun part. You get to destroy stuff. Everybody, all the little kids love this part. So come over here. Let's switch spots. So Mary, if you would, and wait, before Mary does this, I want you guys to be my scientists today. So I want you to tell me, what do you see happening when Mary pours this refreshing drink over the coquina rock? Go ahead, Mary. All right. Okay, do you see what's happening? Maybe not. Let's move a little bit closer. Come here, Mary. All right. All right, there we go. So what's happening, guys? Go ahead, do it one more time, Mary. All right. Wow, those are all great answers. The answer I'm looking for, though, is yes, it fizzes up. And, you know, that fizzing is carbon. So that carbon dioxide that's coming out of the rock. You know, that's kind of from the acidity of the rain, that's from the pollution. So basically, that's what's breaking down this rock. So we have to be real careful with our environment, folks, and that'll really help us out to preserve these wonderful historical sites that we have, the Castillo de San Marco. There's also 36 other buildings that are built with coquina that are in the town of St. Augustine. And I'm sure in other places of the world as well. So folks, thank you very much for tuning in today. We will see you next week when we're going to talk about how the coquina made it from the coquina quarry, the old Spanish quarry, over to the Castillo de San Marco site in downtown St. Augustine. Have a great week.